Mayor Patricia Chase Green, since you've been in office as mayor, we've had the first set of heavy rainfall. How did the city fare?
The city fared well, thanks to the work that would have been done from last year with all the drainage works in the center of Georgetown and around some of the communities. There are still a few gray areas. As I came through Working Rust this morning, I was still upset that there's still high water in the areas like the Archers Home, 1717 Durban Street, that police housing scheme. So for some reason, there seemed to be a problem in that particular area, which I will have to address with the engineers this morning.
The value of desilting alleyways, canals, and drains over the past few months in and around the capital city has birthed fruit with little to no inundation in Georgetown following recent continuous rainfall. Such is the conclusion of Ron Eastman, Deputy City Engineer, Georgetown Municipality, to Nightly News with specific reference to rainfall as recent as Sunday night into Monday morning.
We have to give credence to the work that was completed over the period, which begins from last year into this new year, and primarily the desilting and clearing of alleyways, canals, even some secondary drains.
Having visited some critical areas of the city prone to flooding, as well as the city banks at Rivers View, JP Santos Sluice, the Meadow Bank, as well as the Liliendal and Kitty pump stations, Deputy Engineer Eastman advised that there has been minor inundation in some sections of the city. However, he assured that there isn't much to fear as regards to the traditional flood-prone areas between Agricola and Cummings Lodge following recently completed and ongoing drainage works spearheaded by the city administration.
And those are all in operation, functioning to capacity and as scheduled. There is no sight of any heavy inundation, so to say, or flooding in most parts of the city. And I must repeat that we must give credence to the work that was completed late last year into this new year.
He further noted that from visiting several locations on Monday morning, the city's sluices and doors were functional. However, because of the rising tide, the doors had to be closed temporarily, leaving the pumps in operation. In light of the onset of continuous rainfall between Sunday night and Monday morning, the Deputy City Engineer told Nightly News that had it not been for the recent drainage works completed through initiatives of the capital city's administration, it could have been worse.
If there's any flooding in any urban area or urban street, they can so report to us. We are ready to respond, but I anticipate that it would not be anything of any severe, so to say, having completed most of the works and in preparations for the rain from last year into this new year, which is still ongoing because these works primarily are maintenance works. And there's nothing, anything that is of concern, you can so report to the engineers department. But we have prepared for this, and we are ready for the rains as it comes during this period.
Speaking of areas such as South and North Rhine Belt, where there was some inundation despite of the works completed, he said that the flooding might have been as a result of some chokes in the drainage system, which will be treated in the fastest possible time by his department. We would have had lots of rains last night. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm very much impressed after the 2015 election and with the cleanup campaign here in Georgetown. I'm very happy for that, number one. Number two, it has done great in relation to the rain and as it relates to flooding in Georgetown. So walking around, it doesn't even seem like there was any rain at all, because
where I come from in England, it's always wet and rainy and windy, but I've never heard or felt rain like I heard and felt last night. And then I can see, just looking around, that it's impacted on the drainage system. So I was just wondering, can the drainage system really cope? And if it can't, then we really need to fix it.
Mondale Smith, HTP Nightly News.